it's super frustrating not to be able to go outside and get on adventures right now.
So join us as we show you ways to get ready for your next adventure when this is all over.
Join the Adventure Prep series to go over things like what you should pack, how you can pack it, how to put together a good first aid kit for different trips, how to repair your gear, and more. We look forward to you joining us over the next 6 weeks. All right, let's get started. So I like to start right from my head and go right down to the toes and then talk about some of the other stuff that you might want to bring on a trip. If it's going to be sunny outside, I definitely like to have a sun hat. This one's a double purpose hat because it's Gore-Tex, keeps you nice and dry if it's rainy too. It's going to be cool. Definitely want to have a nice beanie. Don't want to go huge on this because ideally you have some good hoods on your jackets and underlayers. So you don't need a really big beanie, and something like this is going to keep you warm but also not make you sweat when you're working hard going uphill. The buff can be really useful for sun protection if it's nice and light around your neck, keeps the wind out, can be just really comfortable, or if you're in Alaska, you can get your eyes covered and sleep really well at night. If it's a little colder and windier, you can always do a balaclava. These are really nice. Keep you nice and snug if it's cold, driving wind. Of course, if you wear a bra, you want to have something that's going to be wool, ideally. If it's cotton, it's going to hold moisture right on your chest and keep you really cold. So look for wool or something synthetic. Always have a nice t-shirt, could be long sleeve or not, but definitely not cotton. Again, you don't want to hold that moisture next to your skin. A 50-50 blend is great, and wool is probably the best you can do. For sunny conditions, a sun hoodie, super light material, is really useful. It keeps you nice and cool. It actually keeps me cooler in the sun than a t-shirt because it keeps the sun off my skin. And you just don't have to worry about being sunburned so much. As it gets a little bit cooler, the long sleeve, start noticing all of these things have hoods on them. I don't recommend buying things without hoods because they're really great for regulating your temperature and keeping you comfortable. Again, this long sleeve mid layer is wool. Nice to have is a vest. Keeps you nice and warm in your core, and if you're working hard, it won't make you sweat as much. And it's a nice extra layer to put in when it's cold at night, maybe under some of your other layers. And then you're going to want a puffy. Now puffies come in a couple of different flavors. You can have a down puffy like this, which is a lot lighter and warmer for its weight, and you can pack it down really well. But once it gets wet, it's not going to really work, so you might want a synthetic puffy. A really nice thing about these puffies and other jackets is this adjustable hood. I can pull this tight, and then when I put the hood on, it sticks right on my head. You don't have it flopping around, which I used to just not wear the hood because it would flop around and blow off in the wind. Keeps it nice and secure. That's where you might put a fleece or some other kind of layer as well instead of the puffy if that's what you have. At some point, if it's really windy or if it's rainy or precipitation's out there, you're going to want some kind of hard shell. You can go big with something like this. It's a hard shell. It's for mountaineering and stuff like that. Of course, it works for a rain shower as well. Or you get a rain jacket. I definitely recommend getting something with Gore-Tex. It's the best out there. You still have that nice hood. And a really nice thing to have on any jacket like this is what's called a pit vent. If you have that, you can keep your jacket on and stay nice and cool when it's raining and you're working hard. Lastly, a really nice thing to have is a belay puffy. If you're out there and you're belaying people, standing out in the cold for a long time, a belay puffy is really nice to have. All right, next we're going to go to our hands. Nice to have a light layer. You'll notice on these that I can throw on a glove, keep the wind off my hands while maybe I'm cooking and I need some dexterity, but I also have this option for a mitten. And anytime I need warmth on my hands, I'm going to look for mittens because my fingers and the blood flow keep everything much warmer when they're touching. As soon as I isolate them, it gets a little cooler. I like to always have some light gloves in my pack, just in case it gets cold. But if it's going to be, below 50 degrees, It gets cold when you're sitting around. It's nice to have some bigger gloves. I particularly like these because they're leather, pretty durable, will keep you warm in the wind. And it's gonna be really cold. You wanna get some mittens or something like this, lobster mitts, where you have a finger out that might be useful for dexterity, but you can just pop that pointer in with the other fingers in this kind of mitten area and keep your hands really warm when you need to. Let's look at the bottom half here. Underwear matter. You don't, again, want cotton. You want something that's synthetic. I love these ex officios because they're light, synthetic, they dry quickly. I can wash them in a creek or something like that, or in a sink if I'm traveling abroad. And they dry out really fast and you can use them for a while. If you're out with a group of people maybe you don't know on a sponsored trip, something like that, you might swim in a lake while you're hiking or something like that. Instead of underwear, you can always just use running shorts. Really nice way to just take off everything, jump in the lake, come back out, these dry pretty fast. A lot of women out there like to have some leggings like this as an alternative. Super comfortable, moisture wicking, definitely recommend it. As it gets a little bit colder, you're gonna want some long underwear. These are wool, again, keeps the moisture away from your skin, super comfortable. This adds a lot of warmth under any pair of pants that you might wear. I used to love hiking and recreating in shorts. I kind of got away from it. I like pants that are kind of light like this. You can roll the legs up, create shorts, but then if it gets windy or you're going through brush, bushwhacking, you can always roll them back down and have that protection from getting scratched or getting sunburned or anything like that. Definitely don't want jeans. You want something that's going to be synthetic and keep you nice and dry out quickly, keep you warm. It's going to be rainy. You might want some rain pants, something waterproof. These are really nice to have. Not a necessity, but definitely a comfort add. And anytime you have pants like this that you might want to put on over everything, you want a full zip. So this full zip makes it so that I can easily put this on over my boots and things like that. I don't have to take my boots off in the rain to try to get waterproof on my bottom half. Getting a little bit colder now. Some soft shell pants can be really useful. I use these for skiing, mountaineering, all that kind of thing because I put layers under. I can put those wool tights under here, keep it nice and warm. If I anticipate working really hard or I might sweat, I can just wear these. Like the hard shell jacket, having something with a vent that will cover all or most of your leg to keep you nice and cool so that you don't sweat a lot and make them wet is really important. You're also going to want to make sure that you have pants that have a gasket on them like this to keep the snow out of your pants. Lastly, you got the nice to have, don't need them, but I'm kind of falling in love with these puffy pants. Just like a puffy jacket, these are synthetic, super comfortable when it gets really cold. And again, I have that full zip option so I can throw these on over my boots if it's really cold while I'm climbing, and belaying maybe. These are really good to have. You probably guessed it, wool socks. You can range these from thin like these when you're working hard to nice thick comfortable ones in camp or in your sleeping bag. Finding a nice pair of boots that's going to be light and sturdy is really important out there to keep you safe, keep your ankles safe, and help you to go long miles without too much discomfort. These are Gore-Tex boots, which is great, it keeps the water out, but consider also that it'll keep the water in. So if you step in a stream, it might go in the boot, and you can't get that to dry out very well. Or if your feet sweat a lot, you might consider not getting Gore-Tex or waterproof boots. All right, let's talk about some of the other things that are going to go on our pack. We'll start with some of the necessities. You definitely want to have a first aid kit of some flavor. It depends on what you're doing and how long you're out, what you anticipate as risks on what goes in there. And that's actually going to be another one of our adventure prep sessions, so look forward to that. Always good to have a map just in case. Good to have a knife. Don't absolutely need one, maybe a little one in your first aid kit, but if you're going to be camping, these are nice for cooking. And then always bring a headlamp. They're pretty small, they're super light, and you never know when you're going to get stuck out. Maybe someone gets injured, maybe you get lost, and then you're stuck in the dark trying to find your way. If you don't have a headlamp, it can turn a bad day into a really bad day. For hygiene, I bring a little baggie, that way I keep it all together. I don't have to fish through my pack to try to find my toothpaste. Little thing of toothpaste is all you need. Some Dr. Bronner's or other natural soap. It's not going to harm the environment too much, but still keeps you nice and clean. Love this toothbrush, kind of comes apart. You make it nice and ergonomic, and then when you're done with it, you put it back and keep it clean in your pack, so you're ready for your next dental hygiene session. And then dental floss can be really nice. Maybe you just bring one for the whole group.
Hey ladies, this is an example of a cup that you can use for your menstrual period when you're out in the backcountry. This one is made by Diva, it's called a Diva cup. There are lots of other brands out there, but I suggest that before you go out on your first trip, you try it at home so you can see how it works for you, and there are lots of YouTube videos to show you all the pros and cons of different ones and different sizes. Best of luck, and it's a great, natural, reusable way to make sure you're helping with the leave no trace principles when you're in the backcountry.
Something I recommend is a journal. We have proprietary journals for our trips that are kind of guided, so you can take notes and reflect on what you're learning. But anytime I go outside, it's nice to have a small, maybe waterproof, Right in the Rain journal. Just take notes about what I see, observations. Maybe I do some deep reflection, have some insights, or maybe I just want to draw pictures of the places I've been. Sun protection is super important out there. Some sunglasses. There's some nice little cases that you can put them in and keep them from getting scratched while they're floating around in your pack. And then don't forget the sunscreen. We love this Active Life. We partner with them, and it's pretty good mineral-based stuff. It's all natural, so you don't have to worry about killing the reefs or impacting the environment. For water management, love to have nice soft water, but you do get little holes and things like that sometimes, which another one of our adventure prep sessions are going to be how to repair things like this. But for now, just know if this is all you have, you might have a bad day if you get a leak in there. So always recommend having about a liter Nalgene, some hard-sided containers so that you don't have to worry about a leak, losing all your water. And then I live by coffee, so having a hydro flask or other thermos container is really nice to have for coffee, tea, hot drinks in the morning, and then also you can put some boiling water in here and maybe have ramen for lunch on the trail. Always nice to have a mug for your hot drinks in the morning. You want to have a spork or a spoon or a fork for eating, and then having a bowl that's a good size portion and also has a lid that seals on there. Can be really useful if you maybe have some leftovers from breakfast. You can just throw them in here, throw them in your pack, and have a nice lunch. I'm a big fan of the Z-Rest from Thermarest. It's pretty comfortable, and you can use it for a lot of things. You can fold it up like this, and then you have a seat, maybe around camp, and you don't have to carry a chair. You can undo it, you can do yoga on it, and it just gives you another degree of separation from the ground at night. So I put this down first. Definitely not mandatory to have two, but it's really not much weight to add and a lot of comfort for the weight. And then you have an inflatable pad, and just highly recommend these. They're a little more expensive, but if you're spending any time sleeping outside, it's just way more comfortable, and then they give you a lot more warmth from that foam pad. It doesn't take too long to blow these up, and they're very light, maybe a pound or two, depending on the brand, packed down into a very small package in your pack. For sleeping bags, it's kind of the same story with the puppies. You can get synthetic or down. This is down. You can see a 0-degree bag packs down really small, but if it gets wet, it's going to be pretty much useless. That down, the feathers inside are just going to pack in and not be effective anymore. So if you think you might get wet, definitely look for a synthetic bag. It's going to be a little bigger and heavier for the temperature rating. If you're going to be camping in the desert all the time, definitely consider having a nice down bag. You're going to look for a rating that's going to tell you what will keep you comfortable too, and then also what is going to keep you safe too. So check that out. Make sure you don't cross wires there. Good to have a compression sack. Trying to pack all that sleeping bag in your pack without this take up a lot of room needlessly. So something like this with straps that you can really cinch down is going to help you out. Another nice to have here is a hiking pole. I used to not use these when I was younger because I thought I was too tough, but as I get older and wiser, These really help out with the knees. They help you out if you have a heavy pack on going downhill. It stabilizes you out. And you can use them to put up tarps and fix tents and all kinds of stuff. So really useful to have something like this. You don't need a super nice one that compresses, but you can always save space if you want to do that as well. And if you're a skier, they double. You can use a ski pole just as well. And then of course, last but not least, we should talk about the pack. You're going to start out with whatever size you need, but if it's not big enough to fit all your stuff, it's probably not going to work. So I recommend about 50 liters. You'll see the name of the pack. It'll say, the Bora 70 or 80, that number 70 or 80 is how many liters are in the pack, how much space you have. So look for that and make sure you have about 50 liters or more. The more you have, the more easy it is to pack things in. But if it's really big, it's just going to be a little bit too much, and it's going to be hard to get a nice, well-packed pack, get it nice and balanced. So keep that in mind. You always have the option of extending packs. Some of these packs have extenders on them, so they go from 80 to 100 or something like that. That pretty much covers all of the gear that the participant would bring. We would talk about some group gear like cooking gear and tents, things like that, that we'll talk about in another adventure prep session. But if you have all that gear, you're going to be covered to be comfortable and have a really good time outside. Thanks for joining us. We know it's frustrating not to be able to go outside, and we're enjoying prepping for our next adventure with you in the meantime.